Hey, everybody, welcome to the newest episode of the Wheels and Shaky podcast. We are calling this one episode 3.5 for a couple reasons, which I will now explain. Wheels is not here today. You get me, I'm flying solo. Wheels has run into a couple of speed bumps, we'll say, with her wheels, and is dealing with a few issues related to her physical condition, and is going to be out for a week or two. But we wanted to get some content out there for you. Why I'm calling this episode 3.5 is Wheels and I started working on episode 3. We never completed it. We got through a couple things. There were some things we wanted to do that was incomplete. So I'm going to extract a few chunks from that and set them up for you. We're going to make this like the old clip shows that they used to do with the old TV shows. Like, hey, here's reruns from a couple of seasons. Except this is just going to be reruns from this one episode that is sort of our incomplete. It's the Wheels and Shaky lost episodes. This one is going to be a little special because it's me and me alone. I'm going to play some of these episodes. I'm going to put all these things together and give you folks some stuff to chew on while we move forward. And then hopefully next week or the week after, maybe late next week, maybe Wheels will be back in action to work on what will be episode 4. I'm kind of used to having her as a partner and having somebody to bounce ideas off of. So I'm basically standing here talking to myself, which, yeah, okay. Admittedly, I've done before. So bear with me, please. We're gonna get through this. So the first segment I'm gonna chunk up here, I'm gonna throw up here is I'm gonna throw up it. The first segment I'm gonna throw up here is going back and covering kind of how we met, how Wheels and Shaky became Wheels and Shaky. Our history covers about 12 or 13 years, maybe. Actually, maybe a little more than that, maybe 14 or 15. I have to do the math on this one. But it all started because of a fantasy football league. One simple neighborhood fantasy football league. And I'm going to cut here and give you the edit, give you the bit.
Wait. So when we met, though, this was pre diagnosis for you.
Yes.
I was about 10 years into my MS, but it hadn't affected my mobility yet.
No, I think, yes, that's true. Yeah, that's right. The first time I saw you but didn't know who you were was at the children's Christmas shop. Yeah, the children's Christmas shop thing where you would
at the
walk
elementary school.
Yeah, you would walk around dressed up like Mrs. Claus but you were kind of running that whole kit and caboodle.
Oh gosh.
Right.
Mrs. Claus ran that joint.
Exactly. Well, I'm sure she runs the whole thing now too, up at the North Pole. I'm pretty sure, Santa's got his hands full.
I said that the wife has the power.
Yes, clearly. Have you not been in my house? So that was the first time, and I remember you were walking around and organizing everything, and I didn't recognize. And you and I and Allison, Mrs. Shaky is Allison, Mrs. Shaky. I think we had probably said hello to each other in passing because your son and my son were going to school together since kindergarten and had been friendly. So there was all that. But until then a mutual friend decided to start a neighborhood fantasy football league. I think it was Jed's original idea.
It was.
To start a neighborhood fantasy football league, and that neighborhood fantasy football league put you and I, as well as others from the neighborhood, in the same league. I still
But
have
we didn't really know. We saw the names on the board, but it's
Right.
not like we hung out and drafted together. And
No, not yet. Not as of yet. And then somewhere in the middle of that first season, Sam came home from school, and Sam, my son, Sam, came home from school and told me that his friend Matthew's mom said
yes,
she beat me in fantasy football.
I
And
did that week.
go, look, you did. You did. That was our first match.
I said I beat some guy, and I mentioned your last name.
Right.
And Matthew was telling me, "Oh, I've got a friend with that last name."
And we are back. So we met because of a neighborhood fantasy football league, as you just heard. The next thing that something else that we kind of stumbled upon in our last episode was gauging how we feel on a day-to-day basis, mostly for Wheels, because she tends to have a lot more random days. Like one day she'll have a great day, the next day nothing wants to work. The next day some things are working, some things are not. It's actually something we're going to play. It's a little game we're going to play in the future called Body Part Bingo, and see it's kind of waking up in the morning and having your own little checklist and determining what's working and what isn't. Well, we were trying to figure out a way how to measure this. What's the metric? And this next segment is about the metric that she uses. It's not very long. It's a real quick, it's a little quick hitter, but this is her metric for how she feels. Stick around.
Today was a great measure. Most of my friends who have MS can understand this. Today was shower day. And oh my God, is that a nightmare? I actually have to plan it the night before, set out all of my things I might need for my shower, just in case I wake up and I feel like I can do it. Because there's days when I plan for it, the next day I wake up, nope, my body's not going to let me do it. And even today, oh my gosh, today was a bad left hand day. So Lefty did not want to cooperate. Now you try to take a shower without the use of your left hand. It's possible. Obviously, I did it. It's possible. It just takes a very, very long time. And that is going to be the purpose of this. I hope this podcast is I'll be able to share some of the things that I use to make times like my showering times a little bit easier. And I hope that people out there can share back with me, because I certainly don't claim to have thought of everything. And I would love my shower to be a lot easier. But in saying that, I can say the shower is the one way to consistently measure my progression, right? Because showers, necessary evil, they're always going to be there. And I will know from time to time, from week to week, from year to year, how much easier or more difficult parts of my shower can be.
All right. So there we go. So having a shower is the metric for Shaky, for Wheels, for Wheels. I actually have my own metric. For me, it's mostly based on how my tremors are. I'm dealing with some tremors. They're getting they're becoming a little more pronounced right now. I'm due for a neurologist visit in the near future. So we'll see how that works out. We'll see what happens there. The measurement that I have now will change over time. It's going to be a little bit hit and miss for me until I figure things out. I'm still in the early stages. So the next section is something that we started talking about, something that we want to do. We were going to try to do this every week, but we figured we might not have the material every week to do it. But for this podcast, for episode 3.5, it is the multisyllabic word of the week, and it's something that we're going to talk about. We talk about it. We take a deeper dive into it here. I will queue it up, I'll queue it up and post it in here, and we can, and maybe we'll dig into it a little bit more when we're on the other side of the recording. See you in a minute or 5. So
No, I just want to focus on techniques to keep people up and moving, because there is a reason. I mean, I honestly thought that once I was diagnosed, I was just going to get worse and worse and worse and worse until I lost all function. But remember, there is a way that you can lessen the severity and quickness. My mind is gone of your progression. And how is that?
What?
You know what I'm talking about.
Do we have an answer? Just say it, because I don't know where you're going.
No, I'm thinking the big word that I told you about.
Oh,
You need to understand that MS doesn't mean your brain can't be not fixed. There's no cure. But you can train your brain.
Are we skipping all the way down to the word of the day already?
We're getting there.
Ooh, okay, so we're heading. So the new feature coming up before the end of this little recording, our little podcast here, is going to be the word of the day, and we have a cool word of the day. But
and what word is that?
Do I want to do it now? So the word of the day.
I do, only because I do want to talk about the point to doing all of these exercises.
Well, and we can, your exercises and some of the activities that I've been involved in.
Right.
Please promote the word of the day: neuroplasticity. Neuroplasticity. Big word, cool word.
Neuroplasticity.
And
that's 6 syllables?
Yeah, it's a good word. It's a good word. First time I heard this word was pretty recent, actually. My neurologist, I told my neurologist that I had been a long time drummer. I've been a drummer since I was 10. And I told him I had stopped playing because I could still play, but the recovery of playing like full gigs was getting really difficult. And so I told him I had kind of retired from that, which led to harmonica and other assorted things that have also given me a way of making progress, a way of battling things. And he looked at me, he said, go back to playing drums immediately. You play, you play every day. You play as often as you can. So I do. I got a kit set up in the house. I've been playing gigs again. And I said, why the emphasis on doing this again? He said, it is great for your neuroplasticity. Yeah. And so what I've done here, if I'm allowed to read just for a second, neuroplasticity refers to the brain's ability to adapt and change by reorganizing its structure, functions, and connections throughout life. The brain is malleable. We can train it. We can train our brains. We can mold it. We can change it. We can alter how it works. Which
you always learn new things.
Right, exactly. So in my case, my neuroplasticity is drumming, which is affects my neural connection through my physical being. There's that. Well, it sounds. I'm trying to think of a better way to put it, but in essence, it's just really good exercise on focusing on getting my brain to control everything I'm doing while I'm drumming. There's this argument that has been made multiple times that the smartest person in the band is the drummer. And it's kind of a joking argument, but the thought process actually behind that is find me somebody else in the band, especially if the drummer happens to be a guy that sings, which I do.
Ooh.
Find me somebody in the band that is going to be able to make all 4 limbs do 4 different things at the same time, and in my case, either read lyrics on a page, which is not easy, or remember lyrics from a song and sing and stay on key and do all that. this is a challenging thing. This is a neurologically challenging thing. So my doctor was like, neuroplasticity, get your drumsticks out. So, right. But I also started when I stopped playing drums, I started playing harmonica. And I taught, I started learning harmonica. And so I play harmonica quite a bit too. Different set of neurological pathways,
Right.
different set of thought processes. I learned something new. I taught myself something new. My goal in life every day is to be a little better than I was the day before. And one of the ways I measure that is, did I learn something new today?
Well, that's one thing they say about neuroplasticity. I can't even pronounce it. Is that if you continue to do things like learn music, learn a new instrument, um, take on a new language, they say even navigating to new places,
Hmm.
it's going to remap your brain. I mean, I learned a lot about that. I hadn't even thought about that until I had that big relapse. Remember, you were off diving somewhere.
Yes, I was in.
I had a huge relapse that paralyzed me from the neck down, and I started a spiral thinking I would never ever get any better. That was it, and it never dawned on me that they could help me walk again. And after see, you need to correct me on these things. After a month in inpatient acute rehab, I mean, I was only walking 10 steps, but it was rewiring my brain. It was reminding my brain that, yeah, you lost that skill, but it can redo it. You can redo it. You can rebuild it.
Well, and there's a piece here, part of neuroplasticity. This is the thing that I wanted to hit on here too. Neural network reorganization. So adaption. This is by definition here. The adaptation involves changes in the neural network, such as formation of new connections or strengthening the existing ones. So, in your case, the theory here is with work and effort, and same with mine, would be those neural connections that have been broken. If you may would potentially there's the ability to sort of reroute them. So when you learned when you were going through your rehab, and there's no I don't think there's a definitive answer to this one way or the other. But when you were going through your rehab, did you repair broken neural connections or did you create new ones?
I think you woke them up.
Okay,
I
fair.
will say that I currently go to physical therapy twice a week. I have a prescription for occupational therapy I'm taking a break from, and I have a prescription for speech therapy. And the one thing they often do is when I'm in my therapy, especially my physical therapy, they will touch a muscle they want me to activate, or they call it engaging. And to
Okay.
me, my mind is saying to this muscle, move, move. And it doesn't look like it's moving, but they will tell me, and I can feel it a little bit, that it's engaging.
All right.
So it's still there. I'm just still trying to reaffirm the connection between my brain and that muscle. And I've discovered it is very, very slow. It takes a lot of time, but you can regain some use, some function.
All right. So the multisyllabic word of the day, neuroplasticity. I get a lot of mileage out of this word because it's something that I'm early enough in my Parkinson's journey that I'm hoping I'm able to take advantage of this more so than somebody who's further down the road. Not with Parkinson's, with Amy in Wheels's case, even her, she talked about playing using her Uno card. She talked about going through a lot of the rehab. It looks like she's going to be going down that road again for a couple of days to try to get back some function. Again, I don't want to give away too much because probably some violation of HIPAA laws, and it's really her story to tell. So please come back for episode 4, and hopefully you'll get quite a bit more information from her about what she's been going through for the last couple of days. There's a couple other things in play here when it comes to neuroplasticity. It's just doing the work and being patient. That's the hardest part. And I think we kind of sum that up, but it's doing the work and really being patient with yourselves, giving yourself a little bit of grace. I am my own worst critic. The people that know me well, know that I beat myself up quite a bit over things. It's having patience with yourself and having some grace is going to be a real big part of neuroplasticity and understanding what neuroplasticity can do for you. Before I get to the last chunk, it's not really a segment, just something I want to cover. I just wanted to tell everybody how much I miss having Wheels here with me because I do this a lot better when I'm talking with someone instead of, by myself. Number one. Number two, I want to make sure that I put this out there. I should probably say this while she's here, but I know she's going to hear it anyway. The reason the reason that I'm doing this podcast with her exists on a couple levels. One, obviously, we want to reach out to the community of folks who have disabilities, challenges, different abilities, accessibility issues, whether it's something you're born with, whether it's a disability that has happened to you somewhere during your life. You guys, it's we're not alone. You're not alone. We're not alone. We would actually be overjoyed to hear from anybody that's enjoying this podcast or even not enjoying this. Send us a note and tell us we suck if you want. I mean, not that it's going to matter that much, but send us a note. Tell us what's working for you. That would be awesome. That would be super helpful. Send us a note that is just things in your life, maybe challenges you have that you're not sure about. Maybe we can talk through it. Maybe we can find some solutions for you. The reasons we want to do this is really all on Wheels. So you got to understand something. I know besides Wheels, I've known a few other people with MS and with some other disabilities who have just quit. They've just given up. And Wheels has never, ever, ever done that. She has been a gigantic source of motivation for me because she's got maybe the most badass attitude of anybody I know. She has some pretty tough challenges physically, yet mentally, she just doesn't want to give up. She wants to take advantage of life and just live life to the fullest as much as she can. And I just adore her for this. Her attitude about things, her approach to things, her desire to chase things, even if it means, you know, having some dope like me pushing her wheelchair into the party, she's gonna go. She's there. She's down for it. She is. She's just. She just is a joy because she just refuses to give up. She just refuses to just lay in her bed and not do anything and just stare at the ceiling. She just wants more from the time that from the time that she's here. I get it. I get it. She motivates me to think the same way. So she's great to bounce these notes off of. She's great to have as a partner in this little endeavor in our little podcast here. We understand we're not the greatest broadcasters. We understand we're not the greatest, maybe our formatting needs to be better and our technology is a little entry level because we're just starting. This is a great time to grow with us. And we would like whoever's out there to be a part of it. So very quickly, wheelsandshaky.com is still under construction, but getting close. Emails are active. Wheels@wheelsandshaky.com. Shaky@wheelsandshaky.com. Will get notes to us. Send us what's working for you. Send us what isn't working for you. You got a product you like? Tell us about it. You got a product you don't like? Tell us about that too. We are looking for any information we can pass along to be helpful to anybody that's in a similar situation as us. Maybe you're just beginning your journey with your disability. Maybe you're 22 years into it, or you're somewhere in between. But we want to make this a community. We want to make this a place where your thoughts and opinions are welcomed and considered, taken into consideration. Everybody's situation is going to be a little different. Parkinson's is very unique. MS is unique. Autism is unique. CP is unique. You name it, there's all kinds of things causing issues and challenges and making life more difficult for other folks. If you're willing to share, we're willing to talk about it and maybe be helpful, trying to be helpful. That's the goal of this whole thing. And in the process, laugh a little bit along the way, giggle a little bit along the way. Today, I understand wasn't terribly funny, but that's because usually the funny is what happens when Shaky and I kind of riff off of each other. Today, you get this. But I hope everybody out there understands the reason you got me today flying solo is because the challenges that Wheels has, put her on the bench for a week. Put her on the bench for a week. You get me. She'll be back. We'll be back to full strength and be a whole team with our next episode. We have some guests that we're thinking about trying to get involved in the future. We definitely want to hear about products that you like and that you don't like. So please, 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 wheels@wheelsandshaky.com, shaky@wheelsandshaky.com. Our emails that'll get to us. Check out the website when it's up and running. If you are catching this on YouTube, please like and subscribe. Please follow the podcasts. We are currently on Apple. We are on Spotify. We are on Amazon. We are on Podcast Addict and something else. But do the search. We're out there. And please share your experiences, your thoughts with us. Feedback is a gift. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for putting up with just me today. And we'll be back. Wheels will be back. I guarantee you she will be back. That woman does not quit on anything. Later. We're out. I'm out. Thanks, everybody. Clear.